I've caught a lot of bass in 2024, but I think I could have thrown different baits and different styles of baits and caught even more, or maybe even some big ones. And today I'm talking about baits I want to start throwing in 2025 once it warms up and stuff to catch more bass and hopefully bigger bass. Right now I have this organized in different categories. So we have topwater here, we have chatterbaits here, crank stuff like jerk baits and stuff, and then swim baits. So I want to go ahead and start off with topwater. I really want to start with is buzz baits. This is a cheap buzz bait right here, but I really want to start into getting to buzz baits, and the reason is because when bass are chasing down these bait fish and stuff and they're aggressive outside, they're perfect for those mornings in the shallows, and they're more of like in a reaction bait, which means they'll chase it down as they see it. It won't be something they'll kind of slow down and then they'll eat. They're going to be running at this bait full speed because they're being aggressive to eat. I think these are going to be really fun to use, and they're really good for pulling those bass out of maybe some kinds of structures like wood or trees or stumps and things that are underwater. I think it's going to be a really good choice to use. Next bait I want to talk about is the 6th Sense lake bait I got. This is I think either a 5-inch or a 6-inch, I'm not very sure, but I want to start using these more because I know they'll definitely catch some big bass, and I just love topwater baits and the way that bass will eat them. And I have tested this bait. I haven't used it yet for fishing since it's been cold outside, but I have tried it out, and it did make a really good wave on the top of the water, and I definitely think I could catch some big bass with it. And I think I could definitely also, just like the buzzbait, pull them out of some different types of structure. And the good part about this is a hybrid bait, so it's a wake bait, but it's also a swim bait almost. So I think it'll be definitely good if I slow it down to also get a reaction bait or reaction bite. So maybe they'll see that bait stop and that's when they decide to take it. So I'm definitely going to start using wake baits a lot more. Now I'm going to move on to walking baits. This is a Berkley Drift Walker. I really want to start using these because they are fun to use. And they're also really fast moving, and it's also they're really fun way to find bass throughout the thing because you can throw them fast throughout ponds and they cover water really well. I did start using these at a local pond at this one university, and I had really good luck with these because the topwater bite's there. So I'm definitely going to do some videos on these, use these a lot more in different spots, so I'm excited to use this. Now moving on to a smaller profile bait, which are poppers. These are really good for ponds and also for smaller bass, since they are loud popping, so they do attract that bass, but it's not a big profile, which may be a lethargic bass wouldn't decide to not eat it because it's not as hungry or something like that. This is a smaller bait which they will explode on, which I have tried these a lot at the university too, at this one pond. I had really good luck with these. So I'm definitely going to start using those. Alright, moving on, I want to start using frogs more. I didn't use frogs a whole lot in 2024 in places where I definitely could have, there's lots of lily pads or maybe topwater cover. And I think if I started using these, I know frogs can catch big bass. And I think if I just start using these over cover and stuff in just different spots, I definitely think I catch more bass. And maybe even I think if I'm going to catch a PB with a bait, it might be with the since they are bigger bait and it also takes a bigger bass to eat them. And I just think they're rewarding baits. This is right here is a popper frog. This is a bigger popper frog. And then this is a walking frog kind of. Alright, now I'm going to move on to swim baits. I have not really thrown swim baits because I got these big ones later on. Just got this one, and I also just got this one. But I think swim baits like this, and you might at first look you'll be like, oh, there's nothing gonna eat that. But I think it'd be a harder thing to do, but I feel like it's definitely rewarding if you throw out a big swim bait and maybe catch a really big bass, other than catching like 20 little bass. But I definitely want to start using these in spots to either draw out some bass from their beds, or maybe places where you can't find them, or maybe even get some bites on these and try to catch my PB bass. The one I'm most excited for is the 6th Sense one right here. It's the 6th Sense Trace. If you saw my last video about me talking about it and the review and stuff, I really like this bait. I think it looked really good. But I just think this is like a perfect size to hopefully slow down the smaller bite of the smaller fish and hopefully bring in some bigger fish. But I really like this bait because it's slow sinking. You can work it top water, you can slow it down, make it sink a little bit, drop it to their faces. I think it's going to be really fun to use. Also, I'm going to be excited to use the soft plastic kind of swim bait like this. I think I'll definitely have luck. These are like better for ponds too, since it is smaller. But I just like how this bait's set up, the feel of the realism, the feel of it. So I'm definitely excited to throw these around. Moving on, I didn't really get into like using a lot of jerk baits and stuff until later on. I think it was like fall time. I didn't really use them, but I started using this one, Berkley, not this one, this isn't Berkley, but I used a Berkley jerk bait, and I started using that one day, and I think I caught like six or seven like decent sized bass just in this one day. And I realized how well these can work with those bass that are deeper in the water and maybe haven't come up for bedding and stuff yet, because these do mimic dying bait fish really well. But I'm gonna definitely start using these a lot more, because I feel like some of those bigger bass might be lower down in the water, deeper down, and this can definitely reach them. And it'll definitely, what they do is they can pause to act like a dead bait fish, and it'll be right in front of the bass's face, which can hopefully trigger a bite. I already use lipless crankbaits a lot for fishing. I have this one I found if you watch the lure hunting video. But I'm really excited to start using the red eye shad a lot more, because I did use them a lot in 2024. I caught a lot of bass on them, but I feel like I have like a better understanding on where to use them and stuff. And I think this year I'm going to use them a lot and hopefully catch a lot of fish with them. Moving on, I want to talk about square bill crankbaits. I'm really excited to throw these since they're fun to use, but also I think these are like one of the best ways to catch fish is crankbaits. But I want to start, like, this is like a smaller size. Like, I think this is a spoonbill crankbait. But I want to move to this larger one I did find, which is like ruined a little bit. But it's this one right here, that Storm one, which is like a bigger profile, which I want to just, I just love using squareables, but I feel like they catch a lot of smaller bass. But I think if I up the profile a little bit more, hopefully I can trigger a bigger bass to eating, or at least repel like this little bass from eating it. Now I want to talk about some chatterbaits. In 2024, I didn't really use these until I did hear about them a lot and people saying they're really fun to use. So I started using these at this one pond, and I caught this like 2.5-pounder with one of my friends one time. And it was just really fun to use just because of the vibration of these. And I think I definitely want to start using these more in different spots, because I think when the bite's aggressive and then maybe it's like dirty water and the bass can't really see those baits really well, these are really loud baits, and those like attract them to it, so they kind of like have a vision of where the bait is. So they're definitely going to be better for like dirtier water and things like that. And the last thing I want to talk about is spinner baits. Like this and this. I really want to start using spinner baits more. I didn't use them. I used them quite a bit in 2024, but I definitely think that I could have used them a lot more to maybe when that bite wasn't the best. Maybe I could start using them more. I got the Strike King one. And I know like a lot of people use these as their like the bait they rely on when they go fishing at like a new spot, and I definitely didn't use these as much, but I definitely want to start using these more, because I could use them shallow and I could use them almost deep. But I just feel like the vibration they make, and also the amount of like shine they have to the blades when they do hit the sun could definitely catch me more baits and more fish. I hope this video helped you out. I hope you like some baits here. I definitely recommend the baits I talked about. Some of the baits I want, because if you have a smaller like rod or something, like these bigger swim baits here would be harder to throw. But I hope this video helped you out. I hope you like this. Please like and subscribe and have a great rest of your day.